Oh, well, greetings there, blade fans. OG Blades with you today. Formerly, this old sword blade reviews. So, what have we got hiding under my new logos here? Reveal a box. A familiar box to many of you who have owned or collected Maxace knives, known for their wild designs and, in many cases, their exceptionally large blades. This being one of them, this is the Sandstorm K. It's a budget version of their original Sandstorm, which goes up into the $400 to $500 price bracket. This one only being, I think, about 110 bucks. It's a large knife. I'm going to bring it out in a bit for comparison. But let's put that aside and see what's in the box that's just nuts. This is going to be a budget version of a knife that you may have seen the name of. And over-the-top knives in a similar fashion to Cold Steel, except Cold Steel probably has some larger blades. Not probably, but does. What we get when we open the box, and we'll open up that blade in just a moment, so don't get anxious. I thought this was impressive. I have a full set of hardware, and we're talking about some hefty hardware here. We also have something I'm going to take out that I will show you when we reveal the knife. And you may know what this is, but let's put that aside for now. Let's see what's in the box, shall we? By the way, that's your typical hard drawer box that Maxace packs most of their knives in. Sometimes with the upper end knives, you get a little pelican case. So a microfiber cloth, foam, etc. Look at what we got here. This is almost a 1/4 inch thick blade, just under. And it is from something interesting called SLD Magic. I don't have a lot of info on that other than that it is a Japanese steel by Hitachi, and it is a laminate steel. They say the hardness is up around somewhere between 60 and 62. Well, we'll open it up. Come on, why not? Little bit tough on the detent, but if you give it a good push, she opens. And there is I could call it a recurve kukri, but kukris do have a recurve. So you've got this weight out at the end. But I have to tell you, for 158 bucks, right? 158 bucks, the original, and this is the Vortex, pardon me if I didn't mention that, but by now you've seen it in the thumbnails and so forth. The original Vortex, about $700 with all kinds of fancy handle materials, titanium frames, M390 blades. I think some of them might be S90V, I'm not sure. But all the weight on this guy is in the handle. Why? Because everything is steel. The frame is steel, the backspacer is steel, hardware obviously, and obviously the blade. So no titanium on this knife. Steel, folded clip, kind of a very interesting short one that is raised on posts with a good deal of the knife, fortunately, sticking out above that clip, so you got something to grab onto. This is no fifth pocket carry knife, folks. It's a liner lock, and it's got a little bit of a double clutch thing going on here, or maybe that's just the hump, and it just drops, of course, and you don't want to get your fingers in the way. Look at the size of this knife in my hand. I've got about 1.5 inches sticking out, and I'm in the middle of the knife. I'm not even choked up all the way. Got a thumb ramp here with some useful jimping, not bad. You could manage to get your finger into this little choil sort of area with the heel of the blade angled forward. So it's possible. I don't know what you'd be doing with it when you're doing that. It's not a delicate detail cutting knife. And it is heavy. This weighs almost a pound, but I won't spoil it for you. We'll do the measurements in just a moment. But look at this cleaver, not a cleaver shape, but cleaver weighted blade. And again, most of the weight's in the handle. I mean, well, look at that. It's balanced. But when I picked up the package from the doorstep from FedEx, and this came from White Mountain, by the way, 158 at White Mountain, I've got a new discount code. It's called OG-Blade, I believe. And I'll clarify that for you in the links that I leave and the info that I leave in the notes. But you can still use Old Sword if you've been using Old Sword for your discount code. It'll take 10% off. So about 15, 16 bucks off of the 158. All right, here we go. Where is the tape measure? I got too much box stuff going on here. The overall length, if I can get it all in the picture, of this knife is, we're going to call it 11.9 inches, almost a foot long, as I said, and 5.25-inch blade, cutting edge, about 5 inches, a little over. So yeah, you got a little, I mean, you're wasting a little bit of edge there, but is that a big deal? I don't think so. In inches, ta-da! The handle is 0.94 inches, almost an inch thickness in the handle, and you've got to feel this to believe it. Let's get the calipers on the blade here. Yeah, it's a 0.23, so almost a quarter inch, almost a quarter pounder. Millimeters, that works out to 6 millimeter blade stock, not 5 millimeter. 6 millimeter blade stock. Oh my God. Very robust liner. We'll check that out in a minute too. Here we go. Drum roll, please, for the fifth pocket carry. 15.59. Call it 15.6 ounces. How about that? Good Lord. 15.6 ounce knife. You do not want to carry that in your skinny jeans or your summertime shorts or swim trunks or your pajamas. Let's look at it again. It does open with an authoritative thwack. If you like big knives, let's say you're like a Jimmy Slash, and you want to depart from cold steel for just a bit, Jimmy, check this out. I think you might like it. It might be right up your alley. Might even be able to do some cutting competitions with this. Who knows? Speaking of that, I have no idea how sharp the blade is. But you know what? Well, first pass was good. It's what you'd expect with a 1/4 inch thick blade that is really only 1.5 inches wide at the widest. There are shorter knives, lighter knives with higher blades. So this is, what is this? This does feel hollow ground. And I'm going to look down at, yeah, that is a hollow ground blade, folks. And there is the line on the blade that separates the inner core from the skin of the blade. I'm sorry, I don't have the actual, I mean, it's SLD Magic, right? As it said on the blade, SLD Magic. I'll see if I can leave you some info. When you look up SLD Magic, there's no reference to laminated blades. only reference to the steel itself. It's a cold work Hitachi steel, and it can be hardened up to like 62 or higher, I believe. And Maxace is not giving the HRC on this, but if I find out that information by the time the stats go up on the screen that you've probably already seen at this point, then I will certainly let you know. We have kind of a radiused or crowned spine on this with jimps, softly placed jimps in there, as if they're put in with a cylindrical sort of grinder. I mean, it's all machined, obviously. The thickness of the liners, this is interesting. Thickness of the liners, if I can do this. Don't know if I can, but I'll try. Yeah. I get 3.1 millimeters. I may be off camera there. If I am, forgive me because I'm looking around the camera. 0.12 inches. That's as thick as some blades on some EDC knives. Thicker, maybe. I think 0.11, 0.10 on some of the thinner knives. So that is a thick, thick liner. And it's engaging really about 20%, maybe. Hard to tell. But when it falls into place, it's just a rock. Nothing's moving there. It's just as if it's a fixed blade. Speaking of which, I did bring this little thing out and meant to share it. They give you a couple of these, just like there's 2 sets of everything else. You're probably familiar with the process here. This is what Maxace does with some of their giant, enormous knives, is they give you this pin. So in a pinch, you got to get your knife out quick. Got to make sure it's a fixed blade. You got to go through this 30-second process. Now, you push the liner over, a little bit of wiggle, but it ain't going nowhere. Nowhere. So if for some reason you want to use this as a field knife, as a working knife, and I can't imagine doing that, but everybody tries stuff, you know, why not? Give it a try. Then you put that in, and it completely locks up the action. You're going to have to shear that this pin in half in order to close the knife. I don't think it's happening. It's like I used to say about the cold steel test. They support 600 pounds, but who on earth can hold 600 pounds in one hand? I don't think even the Mountain and those guys can hold 600 pounds in one hand. Yeah, but who knows? I've seen crazier stuff. Here's the Sandstorm K again for compare. And I got a cold steel knife out here. Didn't want to upstage the Vortex. So there is the Formax Scout. One more for compare is my daily carry, the Microtech MSI in injection mold. Now that's a big 4-inch knife. I carry it every day and it carries extremely well. But look at it next to, well, the Formax is about 3/4 of an inch longer, but look at the size disparity here. Looks like a shrimp, 4-inch knife that looks like a shrimp next to the Vortex. And that's a heck of a lot lighter too. I think it's might be coming in under 5 ounces, I'm not sure. Anyway, put these guys back in for just a sec. So you can take a gander. We'll line up all the pommels. Look at that. And yes, I checked out the talwar next to this. The talwar is bigger considerably. So those are pocket swords. This is a pocket sword too. But yes, there are larger knives out there. Anyway, let me know what you think about this ridiculous knife. You may want it for your collection, and you can get it for, you know, like around 142 or $3 if you want to add it to the collection just as something crazy, impress your friends. That is the Maxace Vortex S. And by the way, the S stands for SLD, while the original Vortex is M390, titanium, and so forth, but $700. Be well, take care. OG Blades here, signing out. I'll be back soon.